Want to know something funny? It's Monday and things got weird. And here we are. And I totally had this great plan. Oh, let me turn on my light. Got so much planned for you this morning. But here we are, and it's well past 9 a.m. What are you going to do? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a crusty crab. I tried for better words, but that's all I came up with. Okay, those were my sketches. Are you guys ready? We're going to do our thing. We're going to do our crab. I'm getting my notes together because yeah, I do. I take notes for you guys on how we're going to do it. What I did leave up in the air today, though, was how we're going to color him. I kind of think I have an idea, but I'm going to go ahead and use my Noiland markers because I'm back at home, and I'm going to do our 4 most important lines. Erin and I were at the beach. I went with a friend, hey, Michelle, and then she had to leave early, and Erin came and met me at the beach, and I truly can't remember. I either went on Tuesday or Wednesday last week. I'm not going to try too hard to think about it. But we just got back from the beach. And here we are with our Noiland markers, which I'm not going to lie, I'm really excited to have back in my hand. And I've got my Sharpies here because I bought new Sharpies. And we're going to start with a great big fat frowny face. It is not as fat a frowny face as our mushroom was, our fun guy. However, it's really quite similar, except for we're going to do just a little slight, very slight smiley face now. And as I experimented with our guy, I kind of liked him having little bumps right outside here and maybe just thicken this line up. What I like about thickening the line up is that we can even out some things. But when I was experimenting with our doodle today, I don't know if you guys can think of a better name, because you know I love to name things, and truthfully I couldn't name this. So if you guys can think of a name and write it down so that I can see it at the end. Okay, so what I did was I just made this nice and thick because I liked giving him a foundation. So we're going to give him his little legs, and what you do with those is you go swoop and down, but don't pick up your pen. Just kind of stay there and kind of give him a little cup on the bottom. It makes his feet look nice and finished. And then follow it back up and back. And we can do that on the other side. And you can just look at your guy that you just did as a guide and give him a little cup on the end and then come back. And we're going to keep doing this. And remember, just go down with it. And you see, look at this little leg, how it's not straight. And we can do that on this side. We can just, make one. But what's cool about it is when you get it, so it's not exactly perfect, but it's nice and tight, right? Your lines are clean. What happens... And look, his little knee, you can't kind of see it. So I can just bring it down. I can bring the knee down to meet him. And a third one, and we'll let him come a little bit up. So you can tell they're not all on the ankle, and give them right there and come back. Let's see how that went. That went pretty well, right? We've got this nice foundation for the crab. So we're going to give him beady eyes. You know what was really fun was all the research. When you're doodling, what's really interesting to me that surprised me about doodling was how specific you have to be on things. So we made him get big bobbly eyes, and I'm gonna just make this circle a little bit fatter so it can catch up with that circle. And then I'm gonna leave like a big hole right there, like it seems too big. But what that does is, these markers are refillable, and it was getting a little bit loose, so I just tightened it up. These are super cool. I really am appreciating these now that I got back from the beach and I didn't have the other ones. I'm like, oh, I can see why I invested in these. They're very flexible. They're great. Anyway, okay, so there are the bobbly eyes. And if your little circles are a little small or not right, the cool thing is that we build circles. Unless we're just doing drawing a pie, we build circles. So don't ever be afraid of your circles being lopsided. Now we're going to give him we're going to round him a little bit. And again, just follow your first line. That's how you make a match is I go, oh, and then I go, okay, well, look, that's a little bit different. So now I'm going to go, oh. Now, in order to give him his little claws, we're just going to make a nice teardrop. And you can do it in or you can do it straight up. But mine's going to go a little bit sideways, but a teardrop nevertheless. And then we'll give him a little matching teardrop on this side. And honestly, I kind of think his claws look a little bit small. So I'm going to make the other one not insignificant. You see how it makes my gives it more size because I made the back claw bigger. And then my favorite part, I messed around with this for a very long time. And so I felt like he looked a little too happy. I don't know, a crustacean you never think of as being super happy. So what I did was I gave him a slight smile, and then it crooks up like he's been up to no good. And then we just go right here, give him a little like a downward turn, like, he's seen some things. He's our crab. Now, what the interesting thing about this is I thought he was kind of boring, and I played around with it for a long time. And so I gave him these little like flower bubbles. I like to think of them. They look a little bit like he's got flowers around his claws, but because we know he has to be underwater. And then we give some more bubbles kind of going up. And there's something about that sort of detail that just changes it out so much. So now what we're going to do, we're going to keep it really simple. And like I said, I played around with a lot of colors and I went with the classic. So this guy, we were just at the Oregon coast, and I'm going to do my meditation where I just very slowly just fill this guy in. It's where the yummy meditation part just goes, oh, you know, I want this to be a little bit redder. So I'm going to go over it a second time, give it a nice consistent color. I used to take my kids camping, and then later on we had the house at the Oregon coast, and one of the things we would do is go to Newport, and there is a little dock right in the middle of town, and there's an ice cream parlor next to it, and we would go get crab traps and sit out in the wind because it's the Oregon coast, and watch people, and the kids would play together and they would all take turns. I'm just filling this in nice and red. Then I'm going to do red claws. So the first claw, I'm going to do nice and red. The outside claw, nice and red. I think I'm kind of feeling his legs being, no, let's make them red. Because when I remember getting red rock crabs, because that's what you get a lot of on the Oregon coast, they're kind of smaller. You could get Dungeness there too, but the truth is the smaller ones, you get a lot more of the red rock crab, and there's a lot more flexibility in it. So I'm going to take my marker. I'm going to take my brown, if I can find one. What? No brown? Oh, wait. I have a couple outside. There we go. So the brown is nice because it is dark, but it looks like it could be the crab, the red in shadow, so a little bit darker. So there we go. He's nice and he's simple. We got the frowny face and the little smiley face and the platform. Nobody told me a great name for him, so I don't know. I feel like we should just go with Kurt Crab. I don't know, Curtis Crab, Clarence. He feels more sophisticated. Am I right? So we're just going to give Clarence his due right now. Write his name in the little cute style. The truth is that I've been struggling with. I don't know. He looks a lot better. Maybe it was my markers. I'll tell you, that's what I learned when I was selling Pampered Chef many, many years ago. One of the sales lines was, you need to have the right tools for the job. And not only was it a great sales line, it's true. Okay, so then I'm going to put my mark on it. So my M with swoops up, it gives itself to a P, and there's a Y. I don't know. It's been getting wonky. I'm not even joking. So Michelle Pearson Young, we're still doing it, but it's a little bit weird. And then we'll go 20 over 20 for our year. There he is. There's Clarence Crab. Thanks for joining me. That was super fun. Hey, Zoe, Lisa, I saw Jeff on here. You guys are so good to even come on in. So there you go. Thanks for joining me on a weird late Monday, because Mondays are Mondays. Be Clarence the Crab today, right? If you want to name Monday as the day that things are hard, just go, well, I'm Clarence the Crab. I got something spicy that I'm thinking about. I'm here. It's Monday. Don't make it weird, man. You guys go out and have a fun play day.